Why Can't I Do Music Good is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you would like to be part of that audience, please follow us at twitch.tv/oddhobs. That is twitch.tv/ODDHOBBS. And then you'll be notified as to when we go live. You can get involved in the discussion. Now, without further ado, on with the episode.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, the 27th of May, the year is 2012. And my name, no, it's 2021. And my name is Lawrence Hobbs.
My name's Theo Dehaney.
And this is Why Can't I Do Music Good, a show where we talk about music, making music, why we're rubbish at making music, and what we're trying to do about it. Hello, Theo, how are you doing today?
Hello, Lawrence. I'm really impressed with how well you handled that intro.
Thank you. We're almost 2 for 2 now. It's something about going podcast. It makes it feel more professional. It means I feel
empowered.
I feel empowered, but also we've done this 21 times now. This is the 21st episode of the podcast, of the show even, but it'll be like the 4th or 5th episode of the podcast. But like I said, we are going by show numbers. It's also a very special day for me that we briefly discussed on the pre-show. Before we talked way too much about giving blood. If you would like, if you wish,
it wasn't the giving blood that we talked way too much about.
Anyway, if you would like to have been privy to that conversation, you should have been watching us live on Twitch, being part of our live Twitch audience. But yeah, it's a very special day for me because this time 1 year ago, my girlfriend Meg and I went out and we shot the cover for my very first record. Leave Me for Worms, Don't Leave Me for Dead. And I think I would like to impart some advice on our listeners. If you are planning to do the same thing that I did, I hope you are, because the same thing that I did means going and releasing a record. Please just plan ahead. Just plan ahead. Just do more planning than I did, okay? I had an image in my head, and it was based on a particular album cover. It was based on, of course, everything for me is very influenced by Brand New. We've all talked about this before, but for me, it was influenced by by a combination of 2 Brand New album covers. The first is the album cover Déjà Entendu, and the second is the cover for Daisy. Déjà Entendu, very symmetrical cover. It's an astronaut floating above the water, a very painty type thing. I think Doctor Who did a tribute to it at one point, which I don't know if they meant to do that or whether it's a more common concept than I think of an image of an astronaut floating above the water. It just happened to be in the zeitgeist at the time. And Daisy is a sort of candid photo of a fox on the edge of some wood. On the edge of a wooded area. So I thought I'd like to find a field somewhere, some sort of just after a wheat harvest type field. Lots of gold, lots of yellow, to sort of fit in with the sort of setting that I tend to set my songs. I tend to set my songs in sort of Midwest America type places, like Kansas and like the more southern states. I just realised that Kansas is the most northerly of all the southern states, so sorry about that, Kansas people.
Kansas southwards.
Yes, Kansas and down. So yeah, I had that image in my head. I went on Google Maps and I went looking for fields that could match that, and then we went out on a drive. And we found that parking in the middle of the countryside is really difficult because you can't. You'd think you could just park anywhere, but you can't because it's actually you're not allowed to just park. on a road, even if you park in a passing lane, especially not in a passing lane, because you have to keep that free for passing. So what we had to do is we had to find a field, not only a field, but we had to find a field with a gate. Not only a gate, we had to find a field with a gate that was set back away from the road so we could drive off the road down a path to the gate to get into the field. And there weren't many of them. We got lost a few times, and then we ended up in a place called, well, Meg suggested that we go to a place called the Lordswood, which is near her hometown, her Homeville, Hometon. And we went in
The
there.
old homestead.
Say again.
The old homestead.
The old homestead, yes, the old motherland. Sorry. So here is the earth around. For those of you who are old enough to remember that Flash cartoon, we're sorry. So we went to this place called the Lordswood, and we were wandering around in there for a little bit, and then we found this old, like, derelict trailer that must have been used to transport logs 50 or so years ago. Maybe not 50, maybe 30. But it was old, and it was blue, and it was derelict, and it looked really cool. And we were like, this is it, this is the place. And we lucked out. I would say next time, and this is what I'm absolutely going to do next time, and we're planning on doing it, is go and scope locations first. So I have a location in mind for the next one, which is the Purton Hulks, which is an old boat graveyard, not like a couple of hours drive from me.
Nice.
We've been there once, but the weather was awful, so we couldn't get through. So we need to go again when the weather's better. But we're going to scope it out first. And if you or anybody who's listening is looking at releasing some record and have an idea for your album cover and have an idea of where you're going to shoot it, please make sure you scope it out first. Just plan ahead. Anything that you could plan with an album release, please do. And in fact, CD Baby now have, which is the platform that I release my records from, they now have a countdown planner where you put in the date of when you want to release your record, and it tells you all the things that you should do with dates of deadlines of when you should be doing them.
That's really good
to maximize your listenership and your marketability. It is really good. Really good. I haven't tried it yet. I only found out that they were doing it today. But yeah, man.
Well, I was going to say, with your when you go out to your boat graveyard, I might tag along if that's cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's absolutely
for a hand.
There's one condition. If you are to any extra people that we bring along with us, must have their own animal mask just in case. So you need to choose an animal.
I'll get on it.
You need to choose an animal. You need to.
An old animal?
Well, I'd say send me come up with a few.
Something rural.
Send me a picture of what it is. The more sort of creepy the mask comes across, the happier I will be with it. So if it's a stupid one like a seagull or a pigeon, then I probably not. But if it's some like a creepy looking rooster or a pig or bear or something.
Creepy. So creepy. Could I just be a pin mask and naked under a trench coat?
I said creepy, not a creeper.
Okay, fine. No fun, Hobbs.
But
yeah, well, I mean, even if I just got like a fox mask, you know, like lanky fox.
But we've already got a fox.
Or would you want it to be not a fox?
I tell you what, we could. What I might do is I might get a second different fox mask just in case, and then and then we'll go with another animal as well, and we'll try it with a few. Yeah, considering that the fox has kind of become my logo, I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm more than happy for you to tag along if you're free when we do it. It'll probably be a Tuesday, just to give you a heads up.
Oh, okay. Do you have a scope of sort of when you're looking to do this?
Well,
Or just
we would normally do it on the scheduled like date day that me and my girlfriend have, which is a
sure.
Tuesday, because we'll have to do it together. But I mean, it's flexible, but not too flexible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? So I'm going to use the opportunity to once more to get an extra plug in there because I think that being an anniversary, I think that it's worth it, and I think I would like to do it, and it's my show,
Sure.
so fuck you.
So fuck you.
Yes, if you would like to listen to my music, it is the anniversary of the shooting of the EP cover, the anniversary of the taking of the picture, I should probably say, of my EP cover for "Leave Me for Worms, Don't Leave Me for Dead." Please go listen to it. It's on Spotify, and also hit me up on Instagram. Cool. So yeah, how's your week been, dude?
My week's been all right. Well, it's been very work heavy.
Yeah.
But oh, you know what? Like I told you, I absolutely smashed my phone the other day.
Yep.
At work, I was just going somewhere, dropped it, tried to catch it, made it worse by accidentally knocking it higher into the air.
Yep.
And just broke the screen. But I just got myself another one coming today,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the Samsung Galaxy S9. And
Okay.
I noticed something about it that I thought was quite interesting. So it's got stereo speakers, right?
Yep.
Which I thought, yeah, cool. And I put it on instantly, way better than my previous phone, which had a mono speaker, which had no bass,
Yep.
like very thin highs.
I remember when discovering my phone had that, and it was a life changer. Like watching YouTube videos in landscape is just different.
Well, this is the thing I noticed. And HTC, by the way, they had their HTC One, which had proper like stereo speakers on either end, like amazing sound, really good. But yeah, I noticed with this Samsung, it uses the earpiece speaker and a speaker on the bottom, but one of them basically contains all of the low end, and the other one contains all of the high end. And there's obviously crossover between them, so like it's really weird. So you put your ear up to one side, it's just you haven't got any of the bass, but you've got all the mids and the highs.
Yeah.
Put your ear on the other end, you've got none of the highs, but you've got the mids and the lows. And like for most, it just struck me as really interesting. And for most type of like, for the sort of music that most people are going to be listening to, it doesn't matter, right? But when you're listening to stuff like Queen, and there's a guitar solo moving from right to left, and you're just slowly hearing all of the bass go out of it. It's really weird.
Weirdly, I have a slight thing on that. Literally, the first note I made in this book, the 2 Beats Ahead book, it's about the invention of Beats headphones, and it said they made headphones to be exactly the way that essentially be so good that the average consumer could have a studio experience. That's how the original idea of the Beats headphones came about.
Yeah.
And then for audiophiles or for sonophiles, they really liked it. But they, after loads and loads of testing, it turns out that listeners, much like their artists, don't give a shit about audiophile grade hardware. They want their shit to sound good. So Beats headphones were marketed and advertised as being like the ultimate in a studio experience for the average consumer. But what they actually are is a set of headphones of very, very large frequency spectrum. larger than most headphones, with um, with a sub bass booster and
Yeah.
an exciter.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I watched a video. There's a YouTuber called Dank Pods.
Mm-hmm.
It's this Australian who reviews all sorts of different headphones. And by the way, I've got a pair of headphones that is like less than 30 quid, and apparently is not just good for price, but good, full stop.
Oh, really?
For mixing and stuff. Yeah.
What were they?
They're the something Lux HD. I've got it on my computer. I'll find it in the break for you.
If we can, we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so this guy was talking about beats, and he took measurements of the frequency response of beats versus like Apple headphones versus a pair of Sennheiser HD 500s.
Yep.
And effectively, yeah, the bass response for the Sennheiser, which is what you'd expect to see, is that it comes up a little bit from the sub, and then for the most part, it's balanced.
Yeah.
With Dre, the bass is so high. It is it's unbelievable how much they've boosted it.
Yeah.
And the highs are like they're boosted to heck.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird. I mean, and the phenomenon is that if we hear it as louder, we think it's better.
Yes.
And if we hear something that has a lot of bass in it, we think that it sounds good. But it's just such a weird thing to do, and then have to have people say, yeah, these are great, to charge so much for them.
Yeah.
It's just
crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is, it really is.
Well, in the interest of time, would you be happy to move on to songs we can't get enough of? Yes. Yes. Excellent.
Yeah, boy. This is songs we can't get enough of. Every week, Lawrence and I alternate bringing a song to the show that we just love. Might be for the musicality, or for the style, or the singing. But yeah, just can't get enough of it. And these songs get put into a playlist, I believe. Yes, Lawrence put this week's one on already.
Yep.
And if you haven't listened to it, please don't listen to it. It's so good. And yeah.
In fact, stop the podcast right now. I need you to do this. Like, I don't normally ask this. I normally let you guys do whatever the fuck you want. I let you guys run rampant. I let you guys do what you want while listening to the podcast. You can do the washing up. You can be having sex. This is a great sex podcast. The only sex podcast. But this time, I need you to stop listening. I need you to go to the Why Can't I Do Music Good Songs Can't Get Enough of playlist, and I want you to listen to the first song. I want you to listen to this song, and then I want you to come back here.
Please, and while you're at it, smash the like button, smash that subscribe button, leave a comment down below.
We're sponsored by Squarespace, except we're not. And we'll never be sponsored by Squarespace, even if and they'll never ask us, because I've actively boycotted. Well, I've actively spoken out against them on the podcast. So
too late now.
Yep. Yeah. So, what's the song?
So the song's called "Thoughtless." It's by Monica Martin. And so, what did you think when I sent it to you?
Oh my God, this song is good. So I started listening to it, and I was like, oh, this has a real like throwback noughties trip hop vibe to begin with. Like as soon as you start listening to it, I can't help but groove. Like it's on the Four Producers One Sample videos that Andrew Huang does. And at the beginning, you always have them like sort of staring off into space, being like, yeah, this is good. Almost like they're trying some food for the first time. It's just like that. I was listening to this, and I was like, yeah, this is cool.
I love that little thing in the high end.
Yes,
so good.
I have a question. How did you find this track?
That's a good question. So Monica Martin's actually been is actually elsewhere on the playlist.
Is she?
Yeah, so I think it's called Unraveling. It's a song she did
Oh, yes.
with Violence. The route that I took to finding her is a bit complicated. I can't really remember. So I think she actually did something with Theo Katzman.
Yes, she did, because all roads lead to Wolfpack on this podcast. I was going to make you think of it later.
What's your Wolfpack number?
Yeah, we need to start doing that, because
She's got a Wolfpack number of 1.
she does have a Wolfpack number of 1. Like, it's crazy. So she used to be part of a band called Fox, Phox. And
I like Fox.
And Fox have collaborated directly with Wolfpack on a song.
Well, so yeah, I can't. So I think I found out about Monica Martin first. It might have been through like a Tiny Desk concert that she did with Violence, and then I saw her in doing "Love Is a Beautiful Thing" with Theo Katzman, and then I think I heard Fox, and this particular song, "Thoughtless," I actually heard for the first time when she sang it with Scary Pockets. So they did a sort of slightly different cover of her own song. So that's how I heard it. And it wasn't actually until months and months later that I found it on Spotify. I thought, oh, well, this will be the original one then.
Yeah.
And listened to it. It's just, whoa, really, it's really interesting when you get used to a song, the way that it sounds. And then it effectively sounds exactly the same, but because it was a different performance, played with different instruments. It's really interesting.
By the way, Meg, can we make a sticker that says "All roads lead to Wolfpack"? Thank you very much. So the chord progression on the chorus of this is like with the piano, just so good.
The rhythm.
And the rhythm is amazing. The whole thing, like that chorus, gives me real Imogen Heap vibes. And I tell you what, I've only fallen in love with 2 people before based purely on their voice. One of those people was Imogen Heap. The other one was a Great Western Railway train announcer between Bristol and Reading.
Oh. Well.
For real.
A fleeting love story.
We didn't go anywhere near Fleet, unfortunately. So now I can add a third person to that list of people I've fallen in love with based purely on their voice.
His voice is so silky, man.
So good. And I tell you what, that bridge, if that's not the jazziest thing I've ever heard, oh my god. And then on the final chorus, I think there's like a minor third that they play instead of a particular chord. It could be they play a chord that's out
right
of
at the end.
It's so the very final chorus. She does sort of an a cappella ish sort of rendition of the final of the chorus, and then it comes in with the piano again. But the first set of chords, they change one of the chords, and I think it's either a seventh or a minor third. I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't learned that amount of music theory yet. I haven't got relative pitches like worked out. But the fact that it sounds so different but works so well makes me think it's a third or a seventh.
Sure. And she, like Monica Martin as well, is gorgeous. She's this mixed race, lovely, with the freckles and yeah.
I don't want to.
She's a lovely lady.
I don't want to objectify people because I try not to.
She's hot.
She's stunning. She's absolutely stunning.
She's gorgeous.
But this is a great song, and like I said, might be my favorite one on the playlist at the moment. And you know what we didn't talk about briefly earlier was the idea of having a knockout competition, a set of brackets for what the best song of this season of Why Can't I Do Music Good is going to be.
Yeah.
Essentially, we would have to take, if we end up doing, well, we definitely are going to miss 2 weeks of podcasts because of vaccinations, etc. But if we can have 50 songs, that's way too many. We're going to have to cut it down to about 32. And then if we're going to have it as 32 songs and then have them fight it out over 4 weeks to come up with whatever the best song is, we can seed them based on their Spotify listeners, and if there's any that we think should be on the playlist despite their listeners, we can swap them out for people. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that later on in the year.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like
it. So you don't have a song that didn't get enough love this time, did you?
No, not really. But you've got a candidate, you said?
Well, I would like to very briefly talk about a song. It's like an honourable mention.
Okay.
And
dishonourable mention.
A dishonourable mention, if you will, yes. So the song is called Running Over. It's by Justin Bieber and Lil Dicky. I'm not going to talk about Justin Bieber because, as we all know, Justin Bieber is low-hanging fruit. It's too easy.
We've
easy, mate.
established this.
Too easy, mate. Too easy. But Lil Dicky, I'm a fan. Well, I was a fan. And I just want to ask the question, what happened to Lil Dicky? Like, his first album was a masterclass in tongue-in-cheek songwriting. And now it feels like everything he puts out is just awful. So I don't know if it's a case of you having a lot of time to write your first album, and therefore it's really good, and now under time constraint, actually he can't really deal with it.
Money and Fame says Connor Fian. Hello, welcome.
Connor Feehan. Nice to see you in the chat, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. Just a quick reminder to anyone listening to the podcast, you can get involved in our live Twitch audience by joining us at twitch.tv/oddhobs. Money and Fame, says Connor Feehan.
Money and Fame.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is the thing that I got from, because I haven't heard beyond Lil Dicky's first album, to be honest. Because I love Professional Rapper. The first song on that track, the first track on that album, is wicked, so good, and I think it does like such a good job as an opener of showcasing his talent, like his rapping and his humor. And then from there, it's just sort of meh. But I think what it is for me is that he's a lot. I pretty much all of what he's done is just done with someone else, basically.
Yeah, Connor Fian in the chat says sold out for a payday, and would you say that aligns with that?
Yeah, I guess so. But and the thing that really got it for me was that it was Freaky Friday.
I thought that was quite fun. For me, it was the Earth song.
Oh, that is absolute bollocks. So lazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole thing, just getting how many celebrities can you get in, and that is such bullshit. But for me, it was Freaky Friday, a song that he did with Chris Brown,
who's a deplorable human being in the first place.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I thought, I can't. It is bad enough, I think, that this man who...
I'm sorry, did you just clap back?
Huh?
Did you just clap back?
No, I'm doing this.
Okay.
Okay. I'm like, here's the thing.
Sorry.
The thing.
My bad.
But yeah, the thing is that he's Chris Brown is famous more for his music, for beating shit out of Rihanna,
and a lot of other people as well.
Yeah, and I think it's bad, and still making music, whatever. I don't have to listen to his music, but I think when you write a song with him in order to, as it seems to me, elevate yourself
Mm.
because you're going, oh, who needs help right now? We've got this newbie and we've got this old guy who's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let's put them together and they can help each other out. And then when you have lyrics in there where hey y'all, how you doing, man?
Mr. Jolly123 has joined the chat. Hey, dude.
We're shitting on Little Dicky. But when you have like this song, one of the lyrics that Chris Brown sings is, "I'm trying to get over my controversial past."
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you painting yourself as the victim when you beat the crap out of a woman?
Yeah. I mean, I think that
it's a controversial past. It's you being a fucking asshole.
I think when it comes to Little Dicky, I think that what he needs to do, I think there's one Hail Mary that he has, and it's a big one, and it'll either get him back to where he needs to be, or it'll just establish the fact that he shouldn't be paid attention to anymore. And that is, I think he needs to collaborate with Childish Gambino. Whether it's just one song or an album or a fucking supergroup.
The thing is, does Don Glover want to do that though?
Probably not. Like, it's definitely a case of Donald Glover has more to lose than Little Dicky does, and Little Dicky has everything to gain. But I think that's the only thing that can bring him back. I think there's potential for Little Dicky. I think when he's given the right motivation, he's a good artist.
Well,
and I think he's a valuable or at least was a valuable artist. And I would like that back as a consumer.
Do you know if there's much of a crossover between Lil Dicky and Childish Gambino's fan bases?
I don't,
because I can really easily see Childish Gambino fans seeing a collaboration between them and just finding it disingenuous.
Maybe.
It's like, well, why are you doing that?
I mean, this is why I'm not a record label producer or an agent. So, okay, well, in the interest of time, should we move on to our main topic today?
Let's do it.
I keep saying in the interest of time. One day we'll get the timing right. But this week's why can't I do music good? I wanted to talk about keeping up with modern music. Now, I think a lot of people will think to themselves, why do I want to keep up with modern music? Modern music's rubbish. You've just said that. In literally the last thing you said, you were talking about how rubbish some examples of modern music are. But I think there's a couple of really good reasons why we should try to keep up with modern music. Okay? And I also have 6 ways that we can do it. And by all means, Theo, at any point, please interrupt me, because I could go off on one today.
That's cool. I'm always ready to cut you off.
That's all right then. We're ready to go. So first off, why do we want to try and keep up with modern music? Well, the easiest thing to say is because you need to know, as a musician, you need to know when someone's done something or already done something that you want to do. You need to know when Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. Simpsons have did it. Oh, can't do music good. Can't do sentence good. So, like, can you imagine, for the purposes of illustrative purposes, can you imagine like someone today who's not listened to any music since 1960, writing lyrics and be like, "Oh, we're no strangers to love. So far, so good." You know the rules, and so do I. Oh, this song's going to be great. And then just going to their record producer and be like, "Hey guys, you want to hear my new song?" And they're just going to have to be...
Can't Live.
They'll be like, "We're sorry, Dick Dastardly." Someone's already made this song, I'm afraid. He's got a weirdly similar name to you as well.
It's okay. I got another one. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
Dick.
No,
Dick. I need you to stop. Also, Mr. Dick Dastardly, your mother's called, and she's concerned about these wacky races you've been getting yourself involved in. Have you seen that there's a guy on YouTube who does who does the whole I'm trying to come up with the original song, but all the original songs are already done. He just is his pianist. It's pretty funny. He'll like start.
Oh, Daniel Thrasher.
That maybe.
He's really funny
Looking.
pianist.
You might have to look him up.
Yeah.
Well, the second reason that you want to try and keep up with modern music is that you want to know like what doors have been opened to you. So the first one is like try not to make life more difficult for yourself, but the second point is making your life easier. So imagine not knowing that distorting your instrument could be an artistic choice, or just be like, I'd love to be a rapper, but my voice is far too white. I'll never be accepted. They'll never let me into their ghetto.
You ever heard of Weird Al? Guy can rap.
Guy can rap. Guy's very good at rap and has a really good singing voice as well. I heard when he what is he did? Oh, why can't I sentence good today? Radioactive. Who did Radioactive?
Imagine Dragons.
Okay, so his version of that. I can't remember what his version of it was, but his voice sounds so good with the Imagine Dragons backing track. It's just it's an infinitely better song. It's an infinitely better song. Okay, so what are the 6 ways that we can keep up with modern music to make sure that we can stay on the game, to make sure we don't make our lives worse for ourselves? So first one,
I think you have an answer.
I do have an answer. It was a rhetorical question, Theo.
Shut your face.
I wanted you to
Yes,
interrupt,
sir. Sorry,
but
sir.
not like that. So first off, very obviously, radio. Like, radio. It's a classic.
Radio.
It's a fucking classic. Everyone loves a good radio.
Everyone loves the radio.
Everyone loves a radio. If you put something on the radio, people will listen to it. And if you...
I was about 30 years old when I learned a very important lesson. If you put something on the radio, people will listen to it.
Mr. Jolly123 says, that's the next stream. Why can't I do sentences good? Yes, where we critique popular works of literature. And why I will never be able to write a novel.
This week's topic, was Shakespeare just a friggin' idiot? He just made these words up.
I don't know any words. Let's make them all up.
Forsooth. What?
Why do I want 4 soups? I've got barely enough room for 1. That was a bad joke. Didn't hit too hard.
Terrible. Yeah,
it was not worth.
I really tried to give you a pity laugh, but it didn't work.
Here, you can take your pity laugh back and save it for a rainy day. Okay, so yeah, radio. Radio is a way we could do it. However, there are some issues. Do you want to take a guess at what that issue might be?
Is it that there are very few people deciding what gets played on the radio?
Yes, we have a winner. Here, you win a pity laugh. Yeah,
thanks. I'll keep that with the other one that I'm saving. Now I've got 2 pity laughs to give you later.
Or you could give them both at the same time, and it could be an almost real laugh. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to radio, you do tend to listen to what the radio wants you to listen to. So it's not really you discovering new music. It's more new music is presented for your consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. For your consideration, here. Okay, so I think it's very natural that the next way we could do it is via streaming services. I think that's the next sort of thought process, which is just like radio, except you choose what you want to listen to. It's a veritable buffet of music.
To an extent.
To an extent. Go for it. Tell me more.
Well, so, I mean, if you if you want to, like with your Discover Weekly, for
Yeah.
example, like you want to be able to, you want a little bit of control to be taken away from you, right?
Exactly.
If you're only going to
Yes.
listen to stuff you know that you're going to like, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You're not going to discover anything.
Exactly. So Spotify has Discover Weekly, which is a playlist of stuff that Spotify thinks you will like that you're not currently listening to, and Release Radar, which is a playlist of all the new songs that are being released by artists that you already listen to. But there's no crossover with that. That you can't. You're either listening to new music from artists you already know, or you're listening to artists you don't know, and it's old and new stuff.
There is, you can listen to artist radios,
Mm-hmm.
which is effectively, oh, you like Bentley. This is a playlist. It's got some Bentley in it, and then it's got some other stuff that sort of related. Might be a few things that you've already got in playlists and stuff. But effectively, it's like, you like this? Okay, well, other people who like this have listened to this sort of thing.
And it's still very curated though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You kind of want when you're keeping up with new music, you don't just want to listen to stuff that's like stuff you already know. You do want to listen to stuff that's like stuff you already know because you know you'll like it. But you also want to experience stuff that's way left field as well, stuff that you would never have thought of listening to in your entire life. So I'm going to quickly touch on 3 more ways, and then we'll get to the main bad boy. So the other ways that you can absorb music is attending gigs. So you go to watch a band, and the support acts are usually bands that you haven't heard of before, unless you're My Girlfriend, in which case the support act is the band you're going to see, and the main act is usually just a bonus.
Your ex.
My ex?
No, nothing. It was a joke about, oh, you're not going to know the supporting band. Oh yeah, I used to date him.
Can I take this pity laughs back, please, mate?
Yeah.
Just pass them over. That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't deserve them. I
Cool.
lost the right.
Thank you very much, mate. So there's attending gigs, but that has the same sort of effect as the Spotify radio thing, where the bands are going to be in a similar vein to what the main artist is. So that's not really discovering. That's just sort of eating more. Like if you're at a buffet, it's not going to a different country's cuisine. It's sort of just eating more of the same country.
You know what? When I went to see, it might have been the Cat Empire. It might have been the Stranglers. No, it wasn't. Might have been the Stranglers, but there was a band came out called Starbase 451 or something. I think some time ago.
Okay.
And it was just
sounds prog rocky.
Well, it was weird. I think, if I recall, it was very sort of electronic, sort of kind of atonal and a little Kraftwerk styly thing, but just kind of ridiculous. So a lot of what they had on stage, there was like an oil pump thing, you know, those oil extractor thingies.
Yep.
Yeah, just a mini one of those just moving, and then just road signs rotating on poles and shit.
Very odd.
And then just weird, yeah. And it was completely not like whichever band it was that I was watching, because it was not like any band that I'd never heard before.
Okay, so there are exceptions to the rule then. Okay. Yeah. So attending gigs, maybe I should put higher in the list. Maybe that should have been
maybe you should make a point in your gigs of your supporting acts being something that is not necessarily similar.
That's a good point, actually. You know, that could happen. Yeah, I accept that. Yeah, we'll do that.
Good.
The other
see that it's done.
Make it so.
Make it so.
So the other ways to sort of absorb more new music is being in touch with social media, and also, so like TikTok is a great way to find new trends. They're on the forefront but again, it's sort of like mass. In fact, that's one of the better ways to do it, but it involves a lot of sort of legwork. And then you have just being somebody who looks for new music, like doing all of the above, going to record shops and asking people, and being on social media and checking out the new trends, and attending gigs and doing Spotify. But let's be honest, one, I'm really lazy. And two, I'm pretty busy. I don't have time to do all that shit. Okay? So, what is the sixth and best way, in my opinion, to keep up with modern music?
I don't know, Lawrence. What? Ah, shit. I'll get them, man. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, introverts of the world are not going to like this answer. I'm sorry, guys. In my opinion, the best way to keep up with new modern music is by having a diverse friendship group.
Ugh. You know what you're talking about, man.
Yes, I do, and I'll tell you why. So I already said that the actual Joel's like, why? Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to expose myself to that bullshit?
Friends, but they're people. I hate those things.
Well, I already said the best way was to like go looking for it, but I'm lazy, busy. It takes a lot of time and effort. But if you have a diverse friendship group who are all into music, then you essentially have a set of people that are all like looking for new music. And when I say diverse, I don't just mean culturally diverse. I don't just mean from different upbringings. I'm also talking about like age, because people who are older will have a completely different musical, like completely different music surrounding them than the younger people do. So trying to have that as a bit of diversity, but also, you know, very obviously taste in music.
This is effectively the same model as a pyramid scheme. This is multi-level marketing.
Yes,
music.
It is. Except it all feeds upwards instead of downwards.
It's like
it's an inverted pyramid.
Once you've given me enough good recommendations, you'll get your own little team of people who report to you. Then you report to me. Okay.
Essentially, that's what Why Can't I Do Music Good is, except we're doing a lot more work than most pyramid schemes do. We're just giving away all the music.
We're not getting paid at all. But so there's a website you might know called rateyourmusic.com.
Is that the one where it connects to your Spotify and it tells you what your listening habits are, and it just roasts your listening habits?
No, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I don't think it's that.
I found it on Reddit once. It's so funny because it's like, oh, you're listening to The National. Are you okay?
Yeah. That's cool.
You're listening to Tech 9. You seem like an angry boy. I hope your mother's proud of you. So funny.
Well, this is effectively a massive community list of music, and like you can use it like effectively. So look, I'm looking at there's a section at the top of the website called charts, and then it gives me custom charts, so I can choose. Right now, I've got 3 drop-down menus that are top albums and 2021. But I can click and say esoteric albums of 2021, or esoteric EPs of 2021, or the 1970s, or this specific year. And it just seems a very powerful tool if you sort of go around, if you work out how to use it effectively.
Could you could you put a link to that in the Twitch chat?
I can absolutely do that.
Because I will put that into the show notes as well.
There it is.
Awesome. Wicked. Okay, so that's another really good way of doing it. Excellent. Have someone do it for you.
Yeah, man.
So now we have an option for both introverts and extroverts. I'm happy with that.
Hey, you know all that guff about getting friends?
Screw that. Have a
Bollocks to
computer.
that.
Have a computer. Right. So, okay. So, should we? On that note, how do you feel about doing a quick wheel of conversation?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Is it showing? Hold on.
To anyone actually listening.
I really enjoy how it sounds. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
Yep, I have.
You've been listening. Fair enough. If you like it, I'm happy.
Okay, well in that case, spin the wheel of conversation. Where is it going to land on? Spin the wheel of conversation. Behold the power of random. You know what it is, Betty? It's our
It's the power.
It's our variation of Shag, Marry, Kill. Could you bring up 8 artists for me, please? So just to very quickly talk about what this particular section on the wheel is. Thea's going to generate us 8 random artists, and
What's the website again?
I just googled random artist generator.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick. Instead of being Shag, Marry, Kill, it's write, perform, and judge harshly after too many tequilas. And what that essentially means is we're going to pick one artist to write a song for us, one artist to perform one of our songs, and one artist to judge us harshly after too many tequilas. And the rest of the picks are just going to watch the whole thing happen. So Theo,
Okay.
what do we have?
So, got good start is Queen.
Yep.
Bob Dylan.
Ooh, okay.
Michael Bublé.
Ooh.
NWA.
Yep. I feel like NWA comes up a lot on this. Was it?
I'm not sure how random it is, to be honest, because Billie Eilish is popping up as well.
Okay.
You got Mark Knopfler.
Yep, that's the singer from Dire Straits.
Carrie Underwood. Cheap Trick. Is it 6 you wanted to write? Ah, yeah.
Yep.
Cheap Trick, then. Nickelback.
Okay. Okay, so one of these artists will be choosing to write a song for us, one of these artists will be choosing to perform a song for us, and one of these artists will be judging us far too harshly after too many tequilas. I don't think I could ever perform a Queen song.
No.
But I think everyone could perform a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah.
Except for like a Rolling Stone, because even Anne Boleyn's cover of that isn't particularly like the original. They had to
Rolling Stone,
because the verse lyrics are like, "What's the first time? Let's have fun. Didn't you?" I've made that joke before in the podcast, but this is the first time it's recorded. So, Michael Bublé, he covers a lot already, doesn't he? I don't think I could cover an NWA song. Mark Knopfler, I don't really care about his solo stuff. Carrie Underwood, you know what? I think I would like to write a song for Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that having my stuff lent to a sort of country style, I think that could work.
Cool.
Yeah.
I might quite like to do a cover of Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Just to see how it goes, because like the thing, one of the things that I like is songs with female vocals sung by a man. I don't know why I like it. Yeah, I just like covering songs by female vocals.
Okay. Well, that leaves me with Cheap Trick and Nickelback. So I think I would like Cheap Trick to perform one of my songs, and I don't care if Nickelback judges me harshly after
Yeah.
too many tequilas. So, um, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say I would like to write a song for Carrie Underwood. I would like Cheap Trick to perform one of my songs, and I would like Nickelback to judge me too harshly after too many tequilas. They did Surrender. Mommy's alright, Daddy's alright, they just seem a little weird. Surrender, surrender, but don't give
Oh.
yourself away. I've sung too much.
uh. So, I'm gonna cover.
Yep.
Well, shit. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think also Nickelback judging me harsh.
Yep.
And songs. Who do I want to have one of my babies to?
You
'Cause it
imagine
ain't
Michael
Michael Bublé.
Bublé doing a cover of one of your songs? Deep
Oh,
Bublé.
Jesus. Watson. So overcompressed, man. Can't stand it. Right. I don't know. What's Mark Knopfler's solo stuff like?
Not as good as Dire Straits.
Not in love with Dire Straits.
No.
Ah, crap. I don't know. Although I've got to say, like, I feel like Deep Deep Blue would sound good in a jazzy sort of style.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I really don't want to give it to Michael Bublé. I think I might have to just to hear it jazz.
You might have to, mate.
Yeah. So Michael Bublé sings one of my songs. I sing one of Carrie Underwood's, and Nickelback judges me, and I shrug it off because you're Nickelback, mate.
There we go. There we go.
Well, you can't hurt me because whatever you say to me, you're Nickelback.
I am Rubber and you are Nickelback. Okay. With that, Theo, do you want to plug yourself?
I'll plug myself.
Because we have come to the end of the episode. Sorry, I interrupted you. Try again.
Yeah. Well, my name is Theo Dehaney. You can be on Instagram at Theo Dehaney Music. That should be up there. I'm also on YouTube as Theo Dehaney. I'm recording a series turning an acoustic song into a studio version. Stay tuned for that. Lawrence.
My name is Lawrence Hobbs, and you can talk to me about anything that we have talked about on the show. And the best way to do that is to reach me at my Instagram, which is at lhobbsmusic. You can also find me on YouTube and the video versions of this podcast episode at my YouTube, which is Lawrence Hobbs. Just search for Why Can't I Do Music Good. Make sure that you listen to the Why Can't I Do Music Good Songs We Can't Get Enough Of playlist on Spotify. And speaking of Spotify...
Especially this week.
And speaking of Spotify, if you would like to hear some of my music, I am on Spotify. If you just search for Lawrence Hobbs, I have an EP called Leave Me for Worms, Don't Leave Me for Dead. If you would like to join the Twitch audience next time and be part of the live conversation, then feel free to follow us at twitch.tv/oddhobbs. Not only will you be able to watch the shows be recorded live, you can also get involved in the post-show and the pre-show, and all of our lovely Twitch viewers today, we're going to be having a conversation in the post-show in a bit, so please stick around. But other than that, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for everybody for listening and watching and being part of today. We're going to head off. I'm going to have a little bit of a longer break before we go into the post-show, so please bear with us, stick around. I need to quickly go and do something and then I'll come back. But without further ado, go.